Hello, friends. I hope that you've been well. For the past 2 years, I have been filling a page in my sketchbook with various favorites of mine for each month. Here is going to be a flip through of my 2022 favorites, which I've made a separate dedicated video tour for last year. And if you haven't seen that video or any of my art live streams from the past couple of years, basically each month I would keep note of what I watched, listened to, purchased, or generally got up to. Basically, it has served as a visual diary in a way, and it's such a fun way to keep track of your interests and life experiences throughout the year. So for today's video, I'll be flipping through the sketchbook pages as well as showing you clips for reference, whether it be TV shows, music videos, or footage from my own camera roll. In 2022, I used acrylic paint markers, and so for 2023, I decided to switch it up and use alcohol markers, colored pencils, and fine liners just to give myself a bit of a different feel from the previous year. Please don't mind the binder clips. This sketchbook doesn't lay perfectly flat, which is very annoying for displaying the spreads. Anyways, so January, number 1 here, I took dance lessons for the very first time. We did it once a week for 2 months, I believe. And so they were K-pop dance lessons specifically. They were challenging, but a lot of fun. Number 2, we have Mirko from the anime My Hero Academia. At number 3, we have a member from the K-band Extraordinary Heroes. I absolutely loved their kind of clown concept when they did their initial debut. I thought it was super cute. And so I drew the member Gon or Gaon. I still don't remember the pronunciation of his name, but he's super cute. Number 4 here, we have the webtoon Purple Hyacinth. I haven't kept up with it since, but I was really enjoying it at the time. And then at number 5, we have, of course, Bleach, the return of Bleach, I should say, for the 1,000-year Blood War arc. And then moving on to February, at number 1 here, I think these are still so cute, but this is to represent Suga from BTS and Hoshi from 17 being on this little web series that Suga has been doing where they had a little chat and it was super sweet and wholesome. Number 2 over here, I did a little thrifting, a little bit shopping. So I thrifted this skirt and this cardigan, and I bought these really cute earrings from a independent jewelry creator. And I also purchased this really cute handmade ceramic bowl that I put like my jewelry in. Number 4, we have Vax, or is it Vex? I forget. I always forget which character is which. This, which name belongs to which sibling. But of course, from the series Vox Machina, I really, really enjoy this series. And then at number 3, we have Mob Psycho. I have not kept up with this anime either, but I was enjoying it at the time. Not to say that I won't pick it back up, but I haven't watched that in quite a while. So for the month of March, we have a very earthy pastel color palette, which again, not my usual go-to, but I actually quite like it a lot. First, we have Subin from the K-pop group Tomorrow by Together. This was during their Sugar Rush ride comeback. I was obsessed with the very Peter Pan meets fairy aesthetic of it all. The makeup and the styling was so pretty. I really enjoyed it. And then over here we have my man Hongjoong from ATEEZ. This is when I initially started my descent into ATEEZ, and the Oreo split dye hair was my favorite on Hongjoong during the Gorilla era. So I had to draw him. And then at the bottom here, we've got the very famous rock scene from the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Absolutely loved that movie. And I never realized how 2 rocks having a conversation could make me cry. And then moving over to April, this is a very unique spread since it kind of feels like one
full illustration as opposed to isolated ones. But I actually quite like this double spread because they have kind of similar color palettes, but this feels like the light version and this feels like the dark version. I also, looking back at this one, I really like the framing that I did here. It just feels very cohesive and symmetrical. It's very satisfying. Even the like ha-ha-has on each side here, the light and the dark. It's honestly, I really like this spread. Anyway, so moving on to April. The reason why I decided to do it like this was because this was the month that I went to Japan for the first time, and it was incredible. I have had Japan on my travel list for many years, and so this was my first time going. It was so much fun, and yeah, so I knew that the majority of my favorites was just going to include Japan, but then also one of my other favorite K-pop groups, 17, had their comeback for Super, and it was amazing. It actually ended up being my top song on my Spotify Wrapped, and of course our boy Minghao I drew here in the center. And yeah, for the Japan kind of elements here, we have the very famous shrine gates from when I was in Kyoto. The Kirby Cafe was definitely a highlight for me. I drew these little cute alien mochi from when we went to Disney Sea. And then I included a little cat bus here because I came back with a cat bus rug that I'm in love with. I have 2 vlogs dedicated to my Japan trip, as well as a Japan haul video as well. So check those out if you haven't seen them and you're interested in some Japan content.
And speaking of traveling, I'm so excited to announce that Trova Trip reached out to me for the opportunity to organize a group retreat for me and my followers. So yes, this could include you. Basically, myself and a handful of you would travel together for a week where we could eat amazing food, go sightseeing, do a little shopping, check out some museums, you name it. I'm so lucky to have an amazing online community, and I've said this many times during my live streams that it always just felt like I was hanging out with friends. So how surreal would it be if we could actually hang out in real life? I think that this would be the perfect opportunity for those of you who've always wanted to travel, but maybe you didn't have anyone to go with, or you were too nervous about not knowing the language, or you thought that planning a trip would just be too much work. But lucky for you, Trova Trip takes care of all of that, and they would even have a local guide with us the entire time to make things as seamless as possible. In my opinion, half of what makes an amazing experience is the people you are with, and I truly believe we could make some unforgettable memories together. But I need your help in order to make this happen. Please fill out the survey in the description to let us know your dream destination, your budget, what activities you want to do, etc. That way we can build the perfect itinerary for an amazing trip. Hope to see you there, wherever that may be.
Then for the month of May here, we have up at the top, we've got Mitsuri from the anime Demon Slayer. I actually really enjoy how she turned out and the way that I used her flexible sword as a framing device. I remember being low-key so proud of myself for that. Number 2 here, this I believe was to represent, I went to a K-pop dance party and I had also purchased this really cute Chimi coin purse. It's so cute and only just barely fits my cell phone, but that's sort of the nature of who I am. I tend to choose fashion over function sometimes. Down here, I have this delicious bagel and ice cream, ube ice cream, to represent my trip to New York City. Lots of fun. Definitely, the food was a highlight. I don't know what it was. We had a ton of food while we were there, but this bagel, it was so memorable. I keep thinking about it. It was so good. And I loved this ice cream shop in Chinatown. I thought the branding and everything about it was so much fun. And if you ever happen to go to that particular ice cream shop, I actually stuck one of my BTS Jimin stickers there, and I actually stuck all of my BTS stickers around the city. But that one particularly would be easier to find. And lastly, at number 4, we have Jackson Wang. I saw his Magic Man tour when he was here in Toronto, and he was amazing. I thought that his showmanship and the fact that he carried this whole concert on his own was really impressive, and I liked the concept of the tour as well. And then moving on to June, which has a very different feel in terms of the spread compared to May, I decided to go in this vein because I knew I was going to include something from the ATEEZ music video, and then I was also going to include something from the Spider-Verse movie, and both of them have like a very comic book feel. It's very cinematic, so it just kind of made sense. So yeah, number one here is a very poorly drawn cityscape, basically, because this was when my friends and I were going to these outdoor movie screenings in the summertime that they were putting on for free, which I thought was amazing. And so that particular month, we went to see Pan's Labyrinth, which I actually had never seen before, and I actually really, really enjoyed the movie, as well as the experience of just being able to sit down in the park with the cityscape in the background and watch this movie. And of course, number two, I drew Miguel from Across the Spider-Verse. Seriously, this movie was incredible. I didn't think that they could top the first one, but honestly, I think they might have with the second one. And yeah, we were all simping for Miguel, understandably. So of course I had to draw him there. And at number three, who takes up most of this page, I drew Mingy from the ATEEZ comeback, Bouncy. Absolutely obsessed with this comeback. I think the outlaw concept is so good, and Mingy for sure was the main character. He looked amazing, and his scene was so epic. And so for the title card at the top here, I wanted it to look like neon lights, essentially. Execution wasn't perfect, especially the chili pepper here. Also very terrible execution, to be honest. But, you know, you get the idea. And even though I don't love the execution of a lot of the elements here, I do like how Mingy's face turned out, as well as Miguel, and just the general aesthetic feels cohesive. So I'll give myself that. Moving on to my July favorites, I actually really, really love this color palette. It feels so perfect for July because it gives me summer tropical vibes. Not that I went anywhere tropical, but you know what I mean. For number one here, as I mentioned in the last page, we were going to outdoor movie screenings. My friend and I went to go see the animated Daft Punk movie, Interstellar 5555. And I'm so surprised that I've never seen it before because I love Daft Punk and I think the animation style is right up my alley. Absolutely loved the movie, so of course I had to draw one of the alien characters. Number two, I went to see the K-pop girl group Twice. I have the lyrics, "You Make Me Feel Special," and their Light Stick, because that's my favorite song. And they were amazing. K-pop concerts are seriously on another level. At number three, I have Cheyenne, aka Sugar Bones. She had a Barbie-themed pool party, and the aesthetics were on point. It was so cute. And so I drew the little Barbie cake that she had. She had also ordered some pizza. It was so, so cute. And then number four here, this is to represent my trip to Montreal. I went to Montreal Comic-Con again, and one of our traditions is that we always go to this Portuguese poutine place, so that's what I included there. And at the bottom for number five, a common theme throughout the year, I do a lot of thrifting, and my friend and I happened to stumble upon this amazing vintage IKEA lamp that is shaped like a flower. I snatched that up immediately. It's adorable and goes so perfectly in my living room. Moving over to August, honestly, I'm kind of surprised at how empty it feels. I don't know why I didn't include more little decorations in the way that I normally do. I guess maybe because it just has like a edgier, darker feel to it, minus the Eevee, but in any case. So August here, number one, I have this really adorable Eevee drawn here because this was to represent Fan Expo Toronto. I had such a good time tabling at that event, and there was this gigantic Eevee mascot trying to leave the event that I was just I thought it was so hilarious and so cute. So that's what I drew to represent that. Number 2, I drew this badass cowboy boot to represent the Rina Sawayama concert that I went to. Her concept, kind of this comeback. I'm talking in K-pop terms. Rina is not a K-pop star, but in any case, when she released her most recent album, Hold the Girl, it had a little bit of a Western flair. So that's what I drew there. I also dressed in a little bit of a cutesy Western vibe as well, because, you know, I had to dress on theme. Then over here at number 3, I drew a sunset to represent my trip to BC. We spent most of our time in Vancouver, and it was actually my first time out there, and the sunset at the beach was unbelievable. It was so stunning. Clearly, I'm going to the beach at the wrong time of the day. I should be going during sunset. It was gorgeous, and it was a lovely trip to visit my friend and visit the West Coast. And of course, the star of this spread, number 4, Jujutsu Kaisen, our boys Gojo and Geto. Honestly, I would have absolutely loved an entire season of this arc of the two of them when they were in high school. I just love them so much, and I feel like it just went by too quickly. Looking at the spread, it feels like the two sides of my personality / aesthetic. One side being super cute and pastel, and then the other side kind of having that Halloween witchy vibe. So yes, I am very aware now that I spelt September wrong. I can't believe I managed to do that. Anyway, so number 1 here, I drew Calcifer because my friends and I rented out a fire pit down by the water, and it was so lovely. I can't believe I have never thought to do this before. We roasted some marshmallows and made s'mores. It was very wholesome. Number 2 here, which worked so well with this drawing of Calcifer, I purchased some Howl's Moving Castle themed earrings from a vendor, and I think that they're super cute. Number 2 here, I drew Zoro from One Piece. I actually had started watching the anime, and then I think not too long after that, the live action had also dropped. So I finished the live action. I haven't obviously finished the animated version. That is so long, but I will continue to probably make my way through that. Zoro, of course, being my favorite character so far. Number 4, I drew my new favorite Monster High doll. I actually don't know a ton about Monster High, but in any case, I was gifted a Dragulora doll for my birthday from my friends, and I absolutely love her. She is so magical, and she totally fits my aesthetic, and she feels like my alter ego in a way. And moving on to number 5 here, I purchased this adorable cat clown bag from an artist that I've been following for quite a while, and I'm absolutely in love. And then at number 6, I have these pastel Halloween balloons and this birthday cake here to represent my birthday party. My birthday is actually October 3rd at the beginning of October, but the way that the weekends worked out, I ended up celebrating on the end of September. So yeah, I turned 32 and I decided to just host a little birthday party at my home. Well, I had people decorate their cups with little custom stickers that I made. One of the most memorable birthdays I've ever had, honestly. And then moving into October. So number 1 here, I drew a couple of pumpkins to represent my annual walk with my friends. We just basically walk through the neighborhoods just to look at Halloween decorations. And at number 2 here, this is technically supposed to be me, but it definitely doesn't look like me. In any case, for Halloween, I dressed up as Lydia Dietz from the movie Beetlejuice, an absolute classic. I really had so much fun with this costume, and my friends and I went out to the ROM, which is the Royal Ontario Museum, and they had a Halloween party at the museum. So much fun. I absolutely love the idea that we're partying next to dinosaur bones. It's kind of sick. And number 3 over here, I drew Harvey Chan, I believe is the member's name. This is from the girl group XG. New Dance is particularly my favorite song, but I decided to draw a member from the Girl Gang music video, I believe, because I just loved the fantasy concept and it felt more Halloween-y, so that's what I did there. And at the very bottom here, I drew a 17 light stick, a little New Jeans bunny light stick logo, and then a little chili pepper again to represent Bouncy from ATEEZ once again, because I went to another K-pop dance party and it was a blast. And for the final stretch here, we've got November, which is a very blue themed color palette. At number 1, we have yet another piece of jewelry that I purchased throughout the year. This is from, I think it's actually the same creator who I purchased the tulip earrings from earlier in the year. Number 2, of course, did even more thrifting. This time I included my fuzzy blue cardigan that I thrifted. At number 3, we of course have everybody's husband, Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen. Yes, I included Jujutsu Kaisen again because we are in a new arc and we are being bombarded with so much emotional damage, and yet we all can't stop watching. Absolutely obsessed with this show, but also incredibly upsetting to watch as well. And then moving on to number 4, we have Luke's Diner mug to represent Gilmore Girls, because every fall I seem to just have the urge to rewatch Gilmore Girls. And number 5 is my custom paintbrushes. I am so proud of this project and I absolutely love the brushes. I think they turned out so cute and I love seeing you guys receiving them and using them, which, by the way, there's still just over 100 left if you want to grab your own. They are limited edition, so I highly recommend picking them up sooner rather than later. And last but not least, we have December, which is a very pink forward color spread. Number 1, we have the queen bee herself, Beyonce, because while I didn't get the chance to see her in concert, even though she did actually come to Toronto, I'm very sad. I kind of regret not going, but she released the Renaissance tour in the movie theater, so my friends and I went to see that, and it was incredible. She is unbelievable. Absolutely a performer's performer. At number 2, this terrifying balloon flower is to represent 17 because they also released a concert movie theater experience, a little bit different from the Beyonce one. Beyonce was like edited from several different shows and then also had behind the scenes footage, almost like documentary style, as well as the concert. So it was very polished and very curated, whereas the 17 one was like a straight stream from a concert. So it was a different experience, but equally as amazing because it really felt like a concert, not only in the way that we watched it, but also the audience was on another level. Like everyone brought their light sticks, people were screaming. We were singing towards the end when everyone was doing the Aju Nice. People were like dancing up on their seat, like from their, like they got up and they were dancing and jumping and stuff. It was incredible. Number 3 over here, I drew Mizu from the Netflix animated show Blue Eye Samurai. Seriously, go watch this series. It is amazing. I keep describing it as Edo Japan meets John Wick, but in animated form. Absolutely, it's seriously an incredible series. Also, just as a heads up though, it is a very, very adult animated series. So excited for season 2. Seriously, go watch the show. It's so good. And at number 4, I have Mito, which is this little character from the recent ATEEZ comeback. Yes, another ATEEZ comeback. Animated content, thrifting, jewelry, K-pop. That's like my whole personality, apparently. In any case, ATEEZ has taken over my life and I'm perfectly fine with it. And yeah, that is my 2024 favorites. Looking back at them, I mentioned this, I think I have to admit I prefer stylistically the look of the acrylic paint markers from last year a little bit more, but I definitely think that challenging myself to try something different was not a bad idea.
And yeah, that concludes my 2023 favorite sketchbook spread tour. I will not be continuing the series for 2024 because I want to focus on exploring other things during my live streams. So look forward to those. And before I go, a friendly reminder to fill out the Trova Trip survey in the description. You do not have to commit to anything by filling out this survey. It's just to get a sense of what you guys want to do and where you want to go. And I really think that it could be an amazing trip. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day or evening wherever you're at, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!